Chapter 11. Healing Wounds. Morning sunlight filtered through the blinds in Michael's small apartment. Dust motes drifted lazily, a sharp contrast to the chaos of the previous night. He sat on the edge of his couch, gingerly rolling up his shirt sleeve to inspect the shallow cut from the cult leader's blade. It stung, but it was nothing compared to the mental exhaustion weighing him down. He still heard faint echoes in his mind. The final words of victims scattered across the city. The frantic pleas of the young woman they'd saved. Usually, his curse was a relentless tide, but now it felt muted. For the first time in a long time, he sensed a peculiar quietness, as if the spirits he heard had been soothed by the ritual's disruption. A knock at the door made him jolt. He opened it to find Claire, her eyes heavy with fatigue but lit by determination. "Hey," she said softly. "Elliot told me you were banged up. Mind if I come in?" Michael stepped aside. "Sure." She took in the humble surroundings. Clean enough, but sparse, with case files stacked on every available surface. A half-eaten sandwich lay forgotten on the kitchen counter. The aura of restlessness in the space reminded her of how unsettled Michael's life must be. They settled on the couch. Claire looked down at her hands. "The woman we rescued is stable. She's shaken but alive. The cult members we apprehended are in custody. Elliot said the leader is refusing to talk." Michael nodded. "He'll keep quiet. They always do, but at least we stopped that ritual." A slight tremor passed through Claire. "For now, do we know if there are more of them out there? More branches of this society?" Michael exhaled heavily. "Could be. But we've cut off a significant chunk of their operation. Their resources took a hit. They won't have the advantage of secrecy. Everyone's eyes are on them now." Claire's shoulders sagged with relief. "So, we did it." A silence fell, filled with the residue of shared trauma and the relief of having survived. Michael studied her, noticing the faint bruise on her arm where a cultist had grabbed her. It angered him more than he expected. "How are you holding up?" he asked. She forced a smile. "Better than I thought I would. I can't stop replaying last night, though. I keep seeing that knife." He reached out, gently placing a hand over hers. "You were brave, Claire. I'm sorry this all happened. If your mother had known how it would turn out..." Claire squeezed his hand, tears glistening. "I think Mom was trying to protect me in her own messed up way. I hated her for keeping secrets, but maybe I understand her now. She was in over her head. I guess I was too." Michael nodded. He realized his own secrets, the final words of the dead, were something he still couldn't fully share, not even with Claire. Yet he felt closer to her than he'd been to anyone in a long time. She shifted, rubbing her temples. "I'm planning to go through the rest of her notes, maybe piece together what's left. Then I'll decide what to do with them. Maybe hand them over to the police or an expert who can keep them from being misused." "Good idea. My superiors will want that. The more we learn, the better we can prevent a resurgence." Claire managed a tired smile. "And you? How does it feel not to have the dead whispering at you about the next killing?" He blinked, taken aback. It was as though she saw straight into him. He'd never told her explicitly about his ability, but she sensed the weight he carried. "I guess it's quieter. I can breathe." A sympathetic understanding flickered in her gaze. "Good. You deserve a little peace." For a long moment they sat together in silence. Two people who had stood on the edge of a nightmare and come back changed. Outside, the city carried on, unaware of how close it had come to another macabre tragedy. Eventually, Claire said, "I should go. Elliot wants me to make a statement for the report." She paused, standing near the door. "Thank you, Michael, for everything." He stood as well, offering a short nod. "Thank you for trusting me. I couldn't have done this alone." They parted, an unspoken promise lingering between them, that even though they had faced down darkness, there was hope for something else, something warmer and human beyond the shadows. Neither knew what tomorrow would bring, But for the first time, it didn't feel entirely hopeless.